Like, at least, I don't know, like, usually when you have large open worlds, it's just empty and filled with busy work. Oh my gosh. I'm not kicking anyone in the groin.
I'll skip ahead a little bit because I don't want to stick here all day on this particular video. I'll show a little bit of what the seamless ship combat is like.
True.
This is the second main character of the game. He's chasing down his target
upgrade
now.
the ship as you go on this journey with Edward. We've seamlessly gone from a ground chase right into a naval chase.
So good.
We could destroy the ship and complete the contract that way, but instead, using the spyglass, we can see that he's carrying a lot of rum. Rum is important in the economy system.
True.
It's a way of making a lot of money if you
True, Sukhoi.
So instead of destroying the ship, we're gonna plunge.
You know how they decided that Diablo 4 needs to be open world and always online. Oh my god. Why couldn't Diablo 4 be more smaller and more focused, and also single player?
Ship. Here you can see the upgrades that we've made into the naval combat. Using the
with optional co-op
shots to slow down the ship. Using the new round shot mechanic of trajectory aiming, you can aim for the hull and do a lot of damage this way. This specific enemy is what we call a frigate. Frigates are the type of ships that you need to destroy as fast as you can, because the longer the fight lasts, the more damage they're capable of doing. We have other enemy types like the Charger or the Man of War. The Man of War is a massive ship capable of carrying over 100 cannons. These are ships that you really need to upgrade to be able to face. But now that this frigate has been demasted, we can start the boarding. Boarding, it's very important. You are a pirate. This is how you gain cargo.
I'll show the
this
boarding,
is how you
and then
take
I'll
on ships.
cut the video off. I know. I want to.
So here we can start the boarding from any orientation or angle we wish.
Jesus.
The distance even matters. If you get too close, the two crews will just jump right into each other. If you start a bit further, you can jump in the water and go in for a sneak stealth attack. We have two objectives to accomplish for this boarding. We can take out the captain, and we need to take out some of his crew. So using the swivel gun, we will efficiently take out a lot of the crew. And now we'll go for the captain using Edward's navigation abilities.
How did they just kill me?
Frame system, we have a dangerous enemy on the other side taking out our crew. We can easily take him out with a headshot. So what we see here is that two ships have come together to create this 3D environment where, using your assassin abilities to navigate, to be stealthy, you can take the advantage and get the kill by surprise. Now that we've taken out the captain, we still need to take out a few of the crew members to complete this boarding. Now that we've plundered the ship...
Thank you for the $10. I was joke much. Lulu, that's a joke. Too much. I'm sorry. It's okay. It's okay. Today we celebrate the birthday of Xanderhal and Karimayus. Thank you for the $10. Thank you very much. This game is still amazingly dynamic. I don't mind open world that much but forcing a player to always online is so annoying. Some of us like single player games with just occasional couch co-op, but the big studios seem to be blind. Yeah, and there's also one other thing. I'm not sure if you're like familiar with this one, but apparently in Diablo 4, whenever you're in the city with other people, all of their equipment, all of their stashes load into your computer. Nice. What a nice design choice. That everybody's stuff loads onto your memory, isn't it? Path of Exile would never work as an open world, and neither would a game like Doom, for instance. The gameplay just doesn't lend itself to open world. True. Like, come on. Everybody's stash loads into your memory. No wonder when there are many people in the city, your game just starts slowing down. Yeah. I can show it to you. Like, where is it? There's like an Asmongold video about it. When Blizzard just sort of talks about it. I'm gonna show you real quick.
Ship.
It's a really fun.
I want to show it to you real quick.
It's that they're like depictions of how like people would look back then. It's less of a high fantasy like everybody's beautified.
Legend.
Like wow, you know. Like, is that media not allowed to exist? Yeah, it's like tough and dirty.
In WoW, everything is pretty cartoony. Like, WoW is extremely cartoony. Actually, WoW is just as cartoony as Fable 1.
Everybody's like tough and dirty and calloused and ready to fucking go. Like, and there are people that I assure you, there are people that are into the type of girl that the main character of this game is, okay? But you saw Asmongold almost let slip his take. He notices the chat and watch how quickly he changes his tune.
Like, that's just ugly? Yeah, why are they...
Look, you saw the jump, you watched him jump on the bandwagon. Did you not see him physically jump onto the bandwagon in real time? This is what I'm talking about. It's this fucking bandwagoning hate cycle of hating everything that's popular. You have to give people shit for liking stuff you don't like. You can see the bandwagon affecting people in 4K, caught on video in real time. He has no beliefs. This is not unique to Asmongold. What Asmongold is doing right now is the trend that I have been ranting about for the last 49 minutes, now 50 minutes going on. You guys understand? Do you guys understand what I'm talking about now? Have I done a good job of elucidating my frustration?
Yes, and I have this clip. I've showed it before. Okay, I have this clip prepared just for this. Again, because I don't think...
Don't ask
True. I have this clip that sort of encapsulates what is being said here. Okay, there we go. There we go.
Don't ask questions. Just consume product and then get excited for next products.
There we go. We have encapsulated the message.
You guys get it, right? Critical's similar. Critical does the same shit too. Yep, I've seen Critical flip-flop from base to cringe on takes before because he realizes he has to jump on the bandwagon, or at least I think Critical's pretty honest. I think he's influenced by the bandwagon a lot. Yeah.
Not everything's a bandwagon. I'm
so
sorry.
Frustrating. I feel like as more of a market grows in hating popular stuff, and as more big content creators realize there's a ton of money to be made in hating a popular thing that's popular to hate, this is just going to become more and more and more common. And you know what's the most frustrating thing about it? Everyone's steeping themselves in this hate cycle. Constant hate for every new thing that comes out. Overanalyzing it and meeting it with levels of scrutiny that are just downright unreasonable in my...
Cyberpunk 2077 was unplayable on release. On consoles. It wasn't scrutiny to the level of it being unreasonable.
My opinion. And yet at the same time, they go on these rants about how they can't enjoy anything anymore. Games isn't like how it used to be. They can't enjoy sitting down and playing video games like COD or Apex or Fortnite with the boys like they used to. Minecraft doesn't feel the same like they used to.
I can enjoy games, thank
enjoy
you.
Video games or movies or comics or whatever it might be like they used to. And it's because back then when they were younger, they were so...
It's definitely a trend in the conservative media space to over-scrutinize beauty standards in female characters. Yes, I agree with that. But it doesn't mean that if you criticized Cyberpunk 2077, you were in a bandwagon. It doesn't mean that if you can recognize that Assassin's Creed series has headed towards the trajectory of being a very tiresome grind fest for which Ubisoft will sell you an EXP boost pack. That doesn't mean that you're on a bandwagon. You see what I mean? Yeah, I do consider these separate issues as well, which is what I actually said earlier. You know, that these are two separate issues. And I'm sort of surprised that both of these issues are just sort of just clamped together in this video that Xanderhal made. That there are two different issues here and they're being clamped together, you know?
Surrounding themselves discussions about how much they love this media. They were embroiling themselves in positive discussion and love of this media. They were surrounding themselves with love of the thing they enjoy. And now everybody is constantly guzzling down a nonstop stream of hate for the thing that they enjoy. That's what it is. Constantly surrounded in the miasma of hatred toxicity fumes. And whether or not you adopt those positions, like, consciously, I feel like it has a pretty subconscious effect on people's evaluation and discussion of media online. Hell, we just saw it in real time, didn't we?
Yes, but at the same time, there is real criticism to be made of AAA industry. And it's not really helpful to dismiss it with saying that it's just bandwagoning. It's just not helpful. You know? Because games are objectively being published half-baked with unworkable bugs, and sometimes the games get fixed, sometimes the games just get abandoned, and sometimes, and that rarely happens, a Final Fantasy XIV miracle happens and the game gets scrapped and rebuilt from scratch. But that basically does not happen, you know? Alright. We continue the birthday frenzy of Xanderhal content. Let me see. What else have you been up to lately? Also, if you've enjoyed this, press like, subscribe, hit the bell, and do all the other things. I think you will understand my criticism more if you re-watch the whole thing from the beginning. I think it will become a bit more clear what my gripes with the video were. Would be unfair to claim some people may uncritically claim to like a piece of media, thus in so doing committing bandwagoning, just in this case, the supposed uncritical hate is swapped for uncritical support, right? Alright, let's go. Just Pearly thing is even worse than you thought. What do you think of this? Let's see. This should be good. Let's remember that we're still celebrating birthday, okay? We're still in the positive vibes.
So, lately I've been talking a lot more about the red pill community, which I think is pretty necessary considering how much they've been poisoning the minds of these young Zoomer teen boys.
Oh no, I'm sorry to go back to the video before for a second there, but yes, Xanderhal also said that people jump on the bandwagons because they're more virgin boys. Oh man, oh no. I got reminded of that take. Oh no. What will you title the segment? I suggest either Lucy Merciless destroys Zan on his birthday or Zan selflessly has bad media take to make Vosh media takes look better. That second one is pretty good. Okay. I think it's nice criticism of Zan. I mean, it's just nice criticism of Zan. I think we like Zan here. We do like Zan here. I am, after all, in Xanderhal's World of Warcraft guild. Please don't throw me out. Please don't throw me out from the guild after this segment. Please don't do it. I'm gonna be good. I'm gonna make it up to you in this segment, okay? I'm gonna make it up to you by reacting to this video. Please don't throw me out from your guild. It's just a little plea between videos. We're celebrating your birthday today. You know, we're in celebratory mood here. If I could have, I would have eaten a cake for you. Because I love cake. But yeah, I don't think that in the grand scheme of things, the whole... I don't think it's so bad to disagree on video game takes. I think it's, you know... Oh, this is a good one. Just Pearly thinks, well, she constructed a little song a la Miranda sings, Colin Perlinger, a very anti... Oh no! Is this the video with the anti-Semitic song? Okay. For all of you who have watched the very heavy segment that I did recently called The City of Bones, I'll give you a little bit of context if this is the anti-Semitic song. That was on Twitter, right? That was the song that was on Twitter, correct? Correct, chat? Is that correct? Okay then, so if that was the song, then on the 22nd of this month, in Warsaw, in Poland, there was a very special march to commemorate the ghetto struggle against Nazi Germany. And I took part in the March of Memory, where we started on the Umschlagplatz. The Umschlagplatz was the place from which Jewish people were taken in trains into the camps. And we went to a different place in Warsaw. And because there were so many victims in the ghetto and in the camps, many of them just died without their names being remembered. So we took those special ribbons with names of people and we tied those names on a special ramp in the city to bring the memory of those people who became nameless back to life. Names like Sadia, Shachna, many different names. And I created a pretty heavy segment on the after that event, and I called it the City of Bones because under the terrain where the ghetto stood, there are still many bones of dead people underground, under buildings, under streets, under the ground. Whenever you go for a walk in that area of Warsaw, you are basically walking on a mass grave. And that is what I focused on the segment. It is a pretty heavy segment. I will be releasing it as a video pretty soon. And on that day, as I was preparing for the march, for the memory march, I was greeted by an anti-Semitic video on my Twitter timeline of a woman playing an instrument and singing, "Why can't we talk about them? Why can't we talk about them?" I'm not saying that Hitler wasn't a bad guy. And that was on just before the March of Memory started. You know? And I even did a little response. That's really what I need on my timeline as I'm preparing to the march. And I showed a little photo of the Umschlagplatz. Like, I really recommend for all of you to watch the segment when it becomes a video, because we recreated the whole march and there are a lot of elements that were added, historical elements. Let's see the check. Oh, I watched the Armchair Historian video on this. A very horrible event, but the bravery the Jewish people showed in the face of genocide is very admirable. May they rest in peace. Quite the thought to think to know you're walking on a mass grave. Yeah. And we also talked to my mom's friend, and he was basically talking how all the new buildings in the ghetto were built on the remains of the old buildings. And in the old buildings, the bodies were never taken care of, which meant that they just decomposed in the old cellars, which meant that in the newly built buildings, the stench of the dead could still be felt, even in the early 50s. You know? Yes. Happy birthday, but not to me, but to Xanderhal and Kalimayus, who has a different name here. Grammar Kami. Apparently, Hitler corresponded with his family doctor, who is Jewish, after Anschluss, and Christian and let him live to Europe. Yes, I heard that as well. Yes, the doctor was spared. But there's also a very interesting thing that's not talked about, because, and this is like an original mini segment that I'm gonna give you. Before the so-called final solution, hundreds of thousands of Jewish people basically were executed in the far east side of Poland. Okay? And the interesting part is, or rather gruesome part is, that at first Jewish people were just executed by being shot en masse into mass graves. Hundreds of thousands, like about 200,000 people were executed that way, by just being shot. And as it turns out, regular human beings are not made to commit genocide. So German soldiers started having mental breakdowns, started crying on sight, started not being able to follow the order anymore. And so the Nazi regime stopped using German soldiers for the executions and started using Ukrainian soldiers and Polish people as well in order to carry out the executions. And then, interestingly enough, that did not work out as well. Because as it turns out, regular people regular people's psyche breaks when they are put in the position of a genocider, basically. You know? And so, to avoid that, the final solution was created when people would no longer have to execute other people themselves. No. People would be led to chambers which would gas them. And it is speculated that the final solution was conceived partially because of the inability of soldiers to take on that role. So yeah, that's the little bit of a story here.
In particular, one of the most influential figures who has a very weird love-hate relationship with her audience, Just Pearly Things, is someone who I focused at, especially lately, a lot more.
I don't know who that is,
I
to
think
be
she
honest.
needs to be covered a lot more, especially after the she pulled recently. If you're curious to learn more about her, I recommend you look at some of my other videos, that go over what she believes and what she stands for, but I'll give you a brief summary. She is a self-hating woman who does red pill content, talking about how awful women are.
I don't know this creator.
Men are actually the best, and she herself is actually, all of these horrible things that she talks about apply to her just as much, and she is actually a traitor to the woman race who is leaking all of these secrets of womandom to men.
Woman race? What?
And warning men about how truly duplicitous and evil women are. Basically, that's the gist of her content. She is a through and through grifter, a very awful person, very stupid as well. She recently got blown the fuck out by Ethan Klein in a debate, and it was pretty glorious.
Oh, I saw some of it.
She's kind of losing relevance as of late, which I think is a very good thing, and a symptom of the fact that
And at the end, that's what genocides are about, denying the humanity of a people. Yes. Morbidly fascinating how you can systematize mechanisms of atrocity to get around normal human limits. Yeah, exactly.
a lot of people in the demographic this content is aiming for are now aging into 17, 18, 19, which is the age where you start to realize, at least I did and a lot of other people did around the Gamergate era, oh shit, this right-wing propaganda is all garbage. It's all bullshit.
I mean...
So, hopefully this trend continues. But, recently, and by recently I mean literally 2 days ago...
Oh no.
Just Pearly Things, aka Hannah Pearl Davis, posted a song onto Twitter.
Oh, it is going to be this. Oh no. So keep in mind what mood I was in when I first heard this song, okay? I think I've drawn you a little bit of a picture as to what sort of a mind state I was in when this popped into my sort of feed.
Rival, that of Colleen Ballinger's horrific musical number about how she is totally not a groomer, guys. Trust her. Anyway, influencer Hannah Pearl Davis drops her new track, Why Can't We Talk About the Jews?, which she dedicates to her favorite white supremacist, Nick Fuentes. Davis has nearly 2 million YouTube subscribers. This is where we're at now. That is true. This is where we're at now. There are unironic open neo-Nazis with millions of subscribers openly spreading Nazi propaganda on YouTube. And meanwhile, if you're a lefty content creator, you have to worry that you might wake up every morning to a ban.
Why can't we talk about them without getting kicked off of YouTube? Now, I'm not saying Hitler was a good guy.
Between the creation of the ghetto, because okay, let me ask this. Does everybody here know what the ghetto was? I'm hoping to hear yes, but just in case, is everybody in the audience right now familiar with what the ghetto was? Yes, says Maya Major. Yes. I have a rough understanding of it. I would say yes. Okay, so I guess I'll just explain it again. I'll just say it to be, for us to have an easy framing as to what we're talking about, even if most people know. Basically, at some point, 1940, Jewish people were closed within a section of Warsaw. They were closed off by walls, the ghetto walls. And within those walls, 450,000 people, give or take, were squeezed together, were just pushed into a very small area without food. Well, there was food at first, but later the resources ran out. Without any resources, without any means of survival. Within the first 2 years of the ghetto, about 200,000 people died of starvation. Children suffered from what we call the deprivation of nature. Children who were small and were growing up in the ghetto were developmentally compromised because they did not know what nature was. They did not know what a lake was. They did not know what many elements of nature were, because they had no point of reference. They spent all of their life trapped in the ghetto, and there were no pictures, books, or photos to show them, to teach them what those elements of nature were. These were the problems of the ghetto. And of course, starvation and many other problems. Okay? And it's important to really understand what was going on. And then, with that mindset, come back to this song. Why can't we talk about them?
How do you not rhyme dude with YouTube there? How did you go with guy instead of dude?
But I kinda wanna know why. Now there's all these conspiracy theories, and the more they talk, I think maybe they're right. But I can't even listen to the convo. I can't even have the conversation without getting canceled by the left and the right. Why can't we talk about them without getting kicked off of?
You know what this reminds me of? I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a breakdown, like a fast forward or a rewind back in time to the era of the skeptic community. Because if there was a current era equivalent to like the anti-SJW skeptic community on YouTube in 2014 to 2016, it would be the red pill like podcast brosphere of today. That would be what we're dealing with now. And it kind of reminds me of when the anti-SJW community put all of their stock behind claiming that Rage After Storm, I think her name wasn't a...
Correction, this isn't a song. It's a mental breakdown of lyrics. I just pity her to a point she needs rehabilitation. really badly.
Nazi after she made her videos in The Great Replacement and Race Realism. But then she just kept on going mask off, and it caused more and more schisms and infighting because the Nazis that were smarter didn't want her to be part of their, circle because it made them look bad, and it kind of gave away the game. The people who weren't Nazis and were just anti-SJWs, your Chris Ray Gun type anti-SJWs, didn't want to be associated with actual Nazis. And it just all kind of fell apart. I feel like now that we've gotten to the point where you've got Just Pearly Things doing guitar songs about the Jewish question, that might be this era's Rage After Storm JQing and just schisming the
On that day of all days.
back in the day.
YouTube. Now really, I'm not trying to be rude, but why can't we talk about the I didn't say
Wow,
it.
so subtle. So subtle, dude. Oh my god, so fucking subtle.
Yeah, you're not trying to be rude, but you did a fantastic job with being disgusting. She definitely came across quite badly in her debate. His underlying belief seems consistent. I recall she was argued previous that slavery actually wasn't that bad. Not trying to be rude. Like,
Wow. Okay. Let's check her channel. Let's see how Just Pearly Things YouTube channel's doing. Is she still up on YouTube? I'm gonna guess yes. She is still up on YouTube. Listen, okay? If you guys want to know how much of a genuine connoisseur I am, okay? I know who this is and I follow her on Instagram and I've seen
I am physically not able to muster any humorous remarks on about that song on Why Can't We Talk About Them. I am physically incapable of mustering up any jokes about it. Apologies.
this post on Instagram when it came out. So it's funny that 45 minutes or 54 minutes ago, Just Pearly Things made a video about how it's like a sign of like issues
Right.
in society.
Good point, Gabrielle.
She's more than 10 times your size and pulls less
Tima
views than you.
Tima.
Well, yeah,
Jack.
because you have to understand that her audience are like women despising men. Like here, let me here, let's look at telling men and women we are equal is evil.
Okay, so
Right.
I've been thinking a lot lately
Yeah, it's
about
Sofia
the natural hierarchy of the world and how you can like see if something is evil. And what I realized is the natural hierarchy is supposed to go God, man, women,
Oh boy.
children.
Holy shit, she laid out exactly how I explained these people's mindsets. Children are property, women are also property, but slightly less property than children, and then men own them. But God owns men, but also God's not really real, so men actually are just the ones that own everybody. That, like, literally, unironically, just, she's too stupid to keep the mask on. It's fantastic.
This is the hierarchy. Now, what I realized
Amazing.
feminism basically is anything that disrupts this hierarchy, or like this is what they're trying to do, because they're trying to say women and men are equal. And when you say women and men are equal, that naturally goes against God because it's disrupting the natural like
How does she look higher than me right now?
hierarchy of the world. And I was thinking about like women and men's like true natures, right? Like men are just more logical, to the point problem solvers. Where women, it's like we're so emotional.
She cannot believe these things, by the way. It's all a grift. I don't believe for a second that she... Like, I saw that debate with H3, and I saw how all of that rhetoric just fell apart. Like House of Cards. I saw it all fall apart in an actual conversation.
Of a trillion cases where that has not been true. I can think of a million trillion cases where that has not been true, okay? This is basically the type of content online that's very popular with low IQ young men. I'm mostly memeing about the low IQ thing. I'm just... My point is, I don't think these young men are stupid. I genuinely don't. I think most of the young men that are falling into this stuff have this inherent belief that they are logical, reasonable people who...
Insecure.
reason out good opinions from the data that they interpret around them. When in reality, this is actually just cognitive dissonance they've built up, reassuring them of their, like reassuring and backing up their ignorance, right? I think a lot of these young men have not had a lot of worldly experience, and thus most of their understanding of the world is filtered through stereotypes they've learned over the internet. Does that make sense? Have you seen people like this? A lot of young guys who clearly most of their understanding of people that and things they've never interacted with before are all stereotypes. I think that just pearly things and content...
I think this problem predates the internet, so I'm not sure if I entirely agree.
Creators like this.
You can even put in the effort, because the only context in which the term man is plural is when it used as a stand-in for the term humans, which would include man and woman. God, this is mind-numbing. And yet, they want it to be seen as an existential threat to society.
This very effectively prey on those young people whose only real understanding of women. Like, if you're a 15-year-old guy, you don't understand women. You've probably never befriended a woman before onto such a level where you can, like, understand them psychologically enough to, like, recognize that, like, you are still very much, like, motivated by hormones and lack of experience and knowledge. And I feel like for a lot of young men, it takes a little bit of life experience to even make mutual, like completely platonic friends with women. Like, how many guys do you know who had to reach like 19, 20, 21 or much older years old before they could like actually have a platonic friendship with a woman? That they, like, a friendship with a woman they didn't intend on having sex with. Tons of guys I know.
Or, what a wild idea. This is a wild idea. I hope I'm not gonna shock anyone with this hot take. People of all genders could just befriend one another at an early age and build those connections and learn to build those connections at an early age. How about that? You know? That's a thing that could be done. Like, people really don't need to wait till they're 19 plus to form friendships with people that are not of their own gender. That's not really, you know?
No, still haven't gotten to that point. It's very common with young men. I think just pearly things takes heavy advantage of that, tells them, yes, your worldview backed up by these stereotypes is totally true. Trust me, I'm a woman who's betraying the other women by telling you this. I'm leaking secret, top secret redacted info. It's like, it's a very predatory and
Yeah, he didn't serve me well. Yeah, right. Like, small kids don't really think about stuff like that on that level, Well, some do, but it's more of a taught behavior. Like, what happens in Zen's world between the age of 15 and 19 that enables boys to understand women life experience? I don't know. I think people overestimate how much wiser people get through the passive, through time just passively passing, passively flowing.
up method, but it's very effective too, although her channel's kind of dying lately, so maybe it's not that effective.
Uh-oh.
And I think what feminism has done,
I hope my channel is not dying.
that they're good people for letting women be equal.
Oh, God.
And
I can't argue with that logic. It does make you a better person as a man to see women as equal to you. That does make you a better person. I think that's pretty indisputable, and I would not argue with that. That is not a straw man. That is actually not a straw man.
And what I realized is
I like how you can hear a dog panting in the background. Probably because she just finished fucking it. And I'm not joking. I'm sorry, but the Holy Scriptures have spoken. The Holy Scriptures...
I'm sorry, what?
We all know the truth.
You're a white girl, and I know it's hard, but you really gotta stop banging dogs. You can lie and start complaining.
Where did that come from?
Dog you're banging, you're a white girl, and I know it's hard, but you really gotta stop banging dogs. You can lie and start complaining, stop complaining.
Oh my goodness.
Don't you know that it's wrong for you to fuck dogs so fuck off.
This meme is gross. I'm dipping out. I'm banning you from my community. I'm sorry. You're not a fit. I've enjoyed our season of friendship, but you're not going to be a fit here. I've set you to ignore, not ban. There you go.
I guess I'm banned.
As far as I won't see you, but you can still chat.
I guess I'm banned.
I don't think... If you don't find this meme funny, this is like a great litmus test as to whether or not you belong in this community.
I guess I don't belong.
Does it make you at least chuckle a little? Then you just this isn't for you.
I guess not.
It just isn't for you. Yeah, this is also Lav's theme song. The like psycho turf that like was obsessed with Destiny or whatever. What if I only blew some air out of my nose? Get out of here. I'm just kidding.
I've never heard this before.
Litmus test to find out who here.
Oh my God.
The epicness of my channel. Okay.
I see.
We're just too goated here. We are simply too epic and based here. We don't cut any corners. We are just all around fucking based.
Okay, I'm gonna click on this. Oh my God. Let me see. The dog pill. Okay, that Vosh dog pill is more funny than the song. Nope, not welcome in Zan's community. My goodness.
And we make no compromises. And if you can't handle that, then this stream just isn't for you.
I see.
We go balls to the wall in this stream, and some people just can't handle it, I get it, but, we're real here, okay? We get real.
what that takes away from women is it takes away the one thing we need. And the one thing that we really crave, which is guidance.
No. You're not speaking for all women by any means. I know many women who get extremely annoyed and upset and avoid any guy who tries to mansplain things to them or tries to, like, get them into things they're not into doing. Like, in regards to, like, oh, we
I know many women. Xanderhal 2023.
should go bungee jumping. No, I'm not doing that. Like, stop. Like, stuff like that. Like,
My goodness.
she's basically just relying on nothing but, like, the laziest stereotypes imaginable and the gullibility and believability of those stereotypes by teenage boys.
And I realized if we don't get guidance from our fathers, the men, the husbands,
Oh no.
and we're here, like we go from here to here, and we do this stupid feminism Christian thing where, like,
What?
submit to your husband when he follows God. That's
What?
or submit to your husband basically when you feel like it, like, because then you're like, well, what determines who's following God? Okay, so we bring
Wait, so she's saying even if your husband isn't following God, you should follow him because he is your husband and above you, and he knows what God wants better than you do, you silly femoid. Bro, this content is, like, the most, like, sad shit to watch of all time. It is difficult
True.
to stomach.
the women here. Now that's evil because it disrupts, like, the natural order of things. Okay. And then the women have no,
The women.
and I realize that's, like, the most evil thing you can do to women.
What?
When we have no guidance, we go towards self-destruction. And the problem is we have a society where there are very few, like, masculine leaders. Even if they stay married.
That is hilarious. All right, like, so we've literally gotten to the point where it's just, like, relying on the idea that a lot of teenage boys online have that all the CEOs are female now because all the corporations have gone woke.
True.
You have to understand that, like, the demographic she's aiming for with this content are
Dragon of Chaos.
we're literally talking about 14, 15, 13, maybe even 12-year-olds, okay? Like, literally just got into puberty and are mad they haven't lost their virginity yet.
Jesus. That's a big thing in the West, isn't it?
Years
The whole...
that men and women are equal. And you are supposed to be equal. So go work like a man.
She's got a high sub count because she got astroturfed to shit. She even cons don't watch her shit. She's too dull for even them. She's massively botted her channel. Apparently there's, like, a massive botting problem as of late with channels, like, just inflating their sub counts well beyond what is reasonable for their view counts. And it's pretty fucking crazy. It's
That was actually a good impression.
it hurts them in the long run. so I
Thank you.
can't really
I'm not sure if to be happy or sad about it, actually.
I mean, if you want to get, like, an extra few million subs now,
Not
go
sure if I
ahead,
should
but
feel happy or
it's not gonna
depressed.
help you in the long run because those aren't going to translate to viewers, right?
True.
I'd rather take my slow,
Please.
steady growth that actually translates to proportional viewership over botting my channel to get the perception of success.
Okay, listen. You're... Oh, don't even give me that slow and steady growth. My growth is slow and steady. Your growth is not slow and steady. Don't even give me that, okay? I'm shocked and appalled. I hope many people have subscribed.
That, rather
Let
than,
me check.
You know,
Let me check,
I'm gonna
actually.
fake my way to the top. Like what most conservative figures do, yeah. Abby Shapiro is also heavily...
Ooh, thank you.
Daily
Thank you
Wire
for the
money
subscriptions.
to run ads for her videos on YouTube. You just couldn't escape them. Like, you will just be, like... right-wing benefactors with shit tons of money will just pay...
I just died
an
again.
online media career as a conservative. Like, it's just that easy. Like, you can just do that.
I see. Thank you.
Go,
Should visit the stream more
go get
often.
involved in men's things. And they basically just put this programming in churches, schools,
Oh, okay.
the media.
She's JQing again.
And I don't really know what their agenda is. And I don't, I make jokes, but I don't really know who they are. But
They.
That's what Nick Fuentes does. That's like exactly like a Nick Fuentes quote. Oh, we just make jokes here, by the way, guys. Like I don't really know who they are. We're just... He's a little more mask off. He's a lot more mask off now. But Nick Fuentes would do like weird dog whistles. Like who remembers the cookie analogy? This
I
is a good
think.
one.
Oh
For those
my
that don't know,
god.
Jess Pearly Things and Nick Fuentes are good friends. So this is fairly relevant to the discussion because Nick Fuentes has managed to make.
Can you donate? Yes. You can donate if you join this page actually. Because I cannot receive donations on on YouTube, but if you join the page. Oh, Moose Watcher 123. Yeah, great. Agreed. Your content is great. I'll send you to chicken more often. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, gigglers. But yes, if you join the page, the White Forest page, then you can subscribe for an amount of money, or you can donate. And the best part about that process is unlike on Twitch or YouTube, if you do it through the page, I get 100% of it. No company, no middle body gets any of it. I get 100% of your donation. So if you decide to donate me through the page, you're not supporting Amazon or Google, basically. But don't forget to like the stream before I go. Thank you. Thank you so much for the $20. Says Cheese Wizard, who is Jason from the YouTube chat. Thank you. Thank you so much for the $20. Thank you. My goodness. Thank you so much. And yes, you can stay on the page, of course, and chat on the page. Since the page has its... Okay, I'm a bit distracted. The page has its own chat.
A surprising amount of relevance and persistence online despite his open Nazism
Thank
for a long
you.
time. A lot of the drama community, like the Bo Blacks, Augie, Turkey Tom, like that sphere, I wouldn't say necessarily embraces Nick Fuentes.
I will just say, as a little bit of a tangent, of a show tangent, that the more viewers and support I receive, the more I move away from the dreaded age slur. And if you want, I can explain to you what the age slur is, but it's a dreadful thing. Let's continue the video.
But they don't exactly reject him, you know? They definitely hate someone like Keffels a lot more than Nick Fuentes. That's pretty obvious. Let me see if I can find the video of Nick
I'm not good
Fuentes
at this
doing
game.
the Holocaust denial.
Oh no.
All right, YouTube's taking this. Funny how every time I look for dirt on a conservative YouTuber that was uploaded by a channel exposing them, it's always gone.
Lucy's not an age slur, thank
on,
you.
like Reddit or something. Interesting.
Thank you for believing in me.
Oh, here's a clip from BitChute. Yeah, here we go.
Matt says if I take 1 hour to cook a batch of cookies and Cookie Monster has 15 ovens, working 24 hours a day, every day for 5 years, how long does it take Cookie Monster to make 6 million batches of cookies? I don't know. That's a good question. Certainly, oh, no. It doesn't really...
So this was back when Nick Fuentes was like a lot more mask on, and so he had to sort of do this like DreamWorks face smile while JQing and pretending like he's totally not a Nazi. But everybody there's in the chat is spamming the N-word and the K-slur and other Nazi shit, and like you're just not allowed to say that.
True, Zumi dear. So yes, for context, in Poland before 1939, there were approximately 3.5 million Jewish people living in Poland. It was a huge community, a thriving community, and I believe from all Jewish people living in Poland, from 3.5 million people, give or take. About 300,000 people survived.
That he's a Nazi. It's basically like a more extreme version of the situation.
And I was mask on.
Drinker and the like your general like chud YouTubers who are very clearly far right, but if you call them that, then their fans will like jump down your throat.
You sound correct to me. Wait a second. It takes 1 hour to cook a batch of cookies, and you have 15 ovens.
Now he's
probably
way more
in 4
open.
different kitchens, right? Doing 24 hours a day, every day for 5 years. How long would it take you to make 6 million? I don't know. It certainly wouldn't be 5 years, right? The math doesn't seem to add up there.
By the way, there is extensive, like, the Holocaust is the most documented event in all of human history. The Nazis tried desperately to destroy the evidence of what they had done. And then they disposed of bodies, and they also tried to...
Not all of the Jewish people died in the camps, by the way. A lot of people died in the ghetto.
dispose of... So, for example, the Nazi apologists try to claim that the chambers in which there would have been mass killings of Jewish people and other, like, there were other demographics that were also being killed, that the doors to lock them in were wooden and thus too light to possibly keep people in there against their will. Like, people could break it down. And the reason for that, which is something obviously the Nazis won't tell you, neo-Nazis won't tell you, but if you research it, you'll find out, is there were pits dug within and around the concentration camps, the internment camps, where they had giant melted steel bulk doors that they burned and melted down and buried. They tried to destroy the evidence of the doors and remounted wooden doors onto them to make them look like habitation huts rather than like airtight sealed chambers for gassing people. So there was that. There was also the fact that the Nazis did not like keep accurate records of the people that they were keeping and killing. They were trying to hide a lot of the atrocities they were committing. They also destroyed a lot of evidence as the Allies were rolling into Eastern Germany and into Southern Germany as well, I believe. I forget exactly like how the pincer worked, but yeah. Anyway, yeah, just like the amount of evidence that suggests that there were actually many, many more deaths than 6 million Jewish people alone is extremely strong. Do not let neo-Nazis even crack your confidence in this fact, okay? The Holocaust is the most documented.
I mean, I don't need to. I live in the place where it happened. Literally.
Event of all human history, okay? It is... There's just World War II and the Holocaust.
Thank you,
no
Cheese
debate
Wizard.
about it. Like, it happened. There are survivors who witnessed it. It's just, yeah.
The math doesn't quite seem to add up there. I don't think.
Yeah, only 6 million Jews, by the way, and that's...
I uploaded a segment of an Auschwitz-Birkenau survivor giving a speech, if you're interested. It's called Do Not Be Indifferent.
It's the lowball estimate of how many Jews alone were killed. They killed tons of other like European minority groups. Obviously, black people were a target. They targeted Romani people. They targeted gay people. They targeted Jehovah's Witnesses. I know they targeted who else? They targeted a lot of different groups. Communists, Poles, trans folk, of course. Anyone LGBT. Yeah, yeah. They were disabled people. Yeah, like a lot.
Keep it in. And of course, if you subscribe, then you can use the emotes.
A lot of people were seen as degenerate and exterminated, but Jewish people were this, like, the core of the Nazi ideology was anti-Semitism. The idea was that all of these things were being enabled and pushed and allowed to destroy their civilization by the Jewish people that were like the great mastermind of everything. So that's why Jewish people were the main focus of, like, historical discussion of this.
I think you'd result in 6 million, maybe 200 to 300,000 cookies. And I think the Red Cookie Association said something like that, probably 200 to 300,000 cookies baked, probably.
Thank you.
In addition, you know, in this hypothetical, I imagine that if you took aerial photographs over the kitchens, you would need to see certain smokestacks to release the smoke from baking the cookies.
By the way that they actually dealt with the bodies was not via, like, one body at a time in incinerators, because that is literally mathematically impossible. The actual way that they did it was by digging ginormous ditches and burning the bodies in mass pits. These pits were known to burn so hot they could melt steel. There are literal steel train tracks that were nearby these pits because they dug them along the side of the train tracks, and just being adjacent to those extremely hot, like burning hot fires, melted and warped the train track. And they burned bodies en masse that way. They did not do it via, like, incinerators. Like what Nazis try to tell you, because they want you to believe that, oh, yeah, I guess it would be infeasible to, you know, one by one incinerate 6 million plus people in incinerators like that. They want to obfuscate what actually happened.
There are actually
and
the
sort of
crematoriums as well, yeah.
Reality of what happened, when in reality there were no, like, I'm sure there were some, like, things like that, but in reality the vast majority of bodies would have been dealt with like that. Mass graves.
And the smokestacks would project certain shadows, but I guess they're not visible in the aerial photographs taken over the kitchens. Moreover, if you look at the soil texture, it's really not deep enough for mass cookie storage underground.
This is another conspiracy theory they try to claim, that the soil could not have been dug deep enough to dig trenches to burn the bodies. They just make shit up. They're Nazis. What do you expect?
And so there's a lot of things. You know, in the cookie kitchen, they say that the ovens are wooden and they have windows on them and they're not totally secure.
Yep, there it is. The claim that they replaced
that
the doors were made of wood. It's because the here, I can actually bring up research on this if you guys actually want to, like,
this is upsetting.
unironic, like, takedown of this. Denier claim.
The fact that you need a takedown of this is pretty upsetting, to be honest.
Door, quote unquote, versus Auschwitz cloth disinfection machines doors. Who is more stupid, Nazis or Goyim buying this bullshit? Hashtag holohoax. That is the tweet. And then it's like the image of like the like of like a giant German gun, and then this supposed, what they say is a supposed gas chamber door, and they say German ingenuity. Are you still buying it? Like, oh yes, the Germans are just so amazing that if they made gas chambers, they wouldn't be made. Like, it's such a bizarre.
Yeah, I've been to Auschwitz-Birkenau. So I basically know what was.
But whatever. Short debunking is, it was not a gas chamber door, so all the arguments comparing it to the real gas chamber doors are irrelevant. Some quick historical context. This small gas chamber was adapted from a morgue in the crematorium, first floor of the main camp in late 1941. The gassings were rare and occasional. It's unlikely that more than 10,000 people were gassed in this chamber in total. The main killings took place in Birkenau since early 1942. As already explained above, Crematorium 1, I think is what it's called, was converted into an air raid shelter by the Nazis in late 1944. To repeat, the killings at that time took place in Birkenau in late 1944 were coming to an end anyway. The main modifications were documented by the Nazis themselves, so we know that the morgue/gas chambers were divided into 4 smaller rooms. So it was once a gas chamber converted into a bomb, like, shelter room that they put wooden doors on because they
Auschwitz-Birkenau
put doors between those rooms. And the Nazis take that photo and try to claim that is the gas chamber door. So yeah, there's also another story of where there were like
it is
like buildings.
Yes, it is actually unreal. It is actually very surreal to witness Holocaust denial.
That were like buildings out in an open area that were like bulkhead doors initially, but then the Nazis replaced them with wooden doors to make them look like they were just sort of like habitation when the camps were occupied and liberated. So yeah, just you really gotta know. You really gotta know. These Nazis will lie about everything. You don't have to be like a historical expert on the Holocaust to know that Nazis are liars and evil, and they will try their best to confuse you about this shit to make you amenable to Holocaust denial and anti-Semitism. That's their end goal at the end of the day, is to enforce death, misery, and suffering. That's all they care for. They are the epitome of evil. There's a reason why Nazis are like the most classic villain in all of media. Like, oh, what's a better villain than Nazi zombies? Honestly, I think we should up it, though. We should do Nazi zombie pedophiles now. That should be like the go-to super evil villain, you know? That's basically taking your average Twitter lolicon and then just turning them into a zombie, and you just done it. Yeah, just make Nick Fuentes...
Yeah, I really don't want that depicted in media. Like, I know your heart's in the right place, but I really don't want that depicted in media. Yeah. Well, it's actually much easier for me to sort of rebuke the BS since I actually live here, you know? I actually live in Warsaw, where the ghetto was. And there's a lot of, should I say, well, I do encourage you to watch the City of Bones thing when it's ready, you know? I think it will be a very informative segment, you know? We do quite a few interesting things on that segment, I believe. You know? So I highly recommend. I actually ended up expanding on the things a lot more than I thought I would. And we did right. And keep in mind, many people were just executed by shooting. Many people died from starvation in the ghetto. There's an estimate that says that in the Warsaw ghetto, 400,000 people, give or take, died from starvation. Just keep that in mind. Keep in mind that when the 6 million number is given, it's not victims of just the camps. It's also the victims of in the ghetto, in the executions, etc. You know? So, and I will be visiting a death camp soon, and I'll probably be uploading the video from it as well, because things are still happening. And I'll be here to document it, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? I sure hope it does. So we've been streaming for Somebody attacking me. I think so. So we'll move out of danger. One moment, gigglers. Be moving out of danger. Yes, your point is well laid out. Minor side tangent. Will you consider doing YouTube membership like other lefty content creators such as Demon Momo or Xanderhal? Yes. But to do that I apparently have to, like, I'm a very small content creator. I am still under 1,000 subscribers. So to do that I would need to hit, apparently you need less now, but I still don't know. I think I still need 1,000 subscribers and I'm still under that. Yes, so please, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe to the YouTube. Consider subscribing to the page as well to unlock the emotes. I'm going to show you some of the amazing emotes that you can get if you subscribe on the page. Cringing Zelensky. Okay, that's an emote. Raging fake Alec Kyle Parker. Angry Duck. By the way, I drew them. I draw the emotes. And I accept emote commissions as well. Evil Duck. My god, that one looks pretty evil. The Kek Duck. The Kek D. And you should subscribe on the page. The Broad Duck. The Broad Duck. There's quite a lot. The Salute Duck. And so, yeah, the Shark Duck as well. There's a lot. There's a lot of ducks. Alright. Oh god. Chod Logic. Let me see. Oh my gosh. Enter the mist. Yes, there are many duck emotes. I now will keep adding more as everything continues. I'm just gonna say my damage is really low. Chat exclusion zone. True. But yes, I'm still working on becoming 1K subscribers. True. So right. You should recommend this thrilling content to your friends, family, parents, to your children, to your siblings, to your pets. It's true. Is this gonna take 10 years? Is this gonna make my attacks stronger or weaker? Okay, it did make them stronger. Oh, your cat subscribed, thank you. Oh my god. I guess the enemy has bleed now. Oh god. I pressed it once too many. True. It's true, Moose Watcher. This is the chat where you can also directly support me. You know? In here you can support me even though I'm under 1K subs. You can subscribe. Or you can donate. It's a nice thing that allows me to not be the H-slur. Boom. Oh gosh. It's done. Got him. Or got them. Got them. As what the... Is this for real? Is this real? Oh my god. That can be real. This cannot be real. I need to invest more in dexterity or strength or something. I just cannot believe that this is how it is. Same enemy. Oh wait, maybe not. Maybe I don't need to face this same enemy again. Have you upgraded your weapon a bit? Yeah, actually. My weapon is like upgraded 6 times. 6 times. I sort of remember this place from the original. Okay, there we go. Wow, I'm really finishing the stream on a high note, aren't I? Way to finish off the stream. It got me. It's too bad you cannot just upgrade your armor. Okay, I feel like after this enemy, I might have to go to sleep. Great victory through many pokes, that's true. That's definitely true, Cheese Wizard. You could say that I'm winning through cheese in a way. I'm living up to the cheese. And yes, the bleed is working, clearly. The bleed is over. Why? Oh my god. Well, you know what? This is where we're gonna finish for today. It was an amazing stream, an amazing birthday stream. Thank you, President Sunday, for raiding. Love and solidarity as always. I hope a lot more of you will visit the streams more often. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Vex the Cat, for the $5. Thank you, thank you. I hope to see you all on the next streams, which will be a bit more, because today was just like a nice birthday gaming stream. There was no planning, and the next ones will be far more planned, so please look forward to that. I'm gonna write, as always, love and solidarity in the chat. Thank you for the tier 1 subscription, Vex the Cat. Thank you so much. Thank you. Love and solidarity. Love and solidarity. And also, I hope you like the O'Berry subscription thing, because it's like a, it's a staple of the Lucy Has experience, the O'Berry. Alright, I'm gonna press end stream. Thank you, thank you, thank you very much. And I'll see you on the next one.